Bonjour, class, and welcome to our latest edition of Le Passe composé. Couple things to keep in mind about the Passe composé. Il y a deux parties. Two parts in our Passe composé. We have avoir and what is it? Oh yeah, le participe passé. So you need to keep this in mind as we go forward. Our rules have not changed. We still have two parts. What has changed, though, is the fact that we have to talk about past participles. They don't always follow the wonderful pattern that we would like them to do. What a surprise, right? Oops. Oh. Too far. So, what we are talking about today are irregular past participles. Okay, for these verbs, they do not follow a pattern. You have to memorize them. Okay, so for example, if I were to take a look at avoir, I can't take off the IR and put an I. That's gross. Okay, it's disgusting. It makes me want to cry. It doesn't exist. My smart board is really living it up today. So, remember, avoir means to have. So if I wanted to say in the past that I had something, I would have to use the past participle eu. Totally wacko, right? So say I had a book, I still do my first part, j'ai, and then I do my second part, eu, my past participle. Alright, devoir. We actually haven't learned this yet as a verb. You know it as homework. Devoir means to have to. When you have to do something, which is what you have to do, your homework. But anyway, past participle is do. Have to have that circumflex, otherwise you change the meaning of the word. Make sure you remember the accent. Être, we know, means to be. Past participle is été, which I bet you're thinking to yourself, I thought that was summer. It is. It's also the past participle of to be. So for our purposes right now, say I wanted to talk about my friend and he was blah, blah, blah. That's the verb to be. So I would write il. My helping verb is avoir. Était, my past participle. Maybe he was tall. Il a été grand. We use faire all the time, so it's a good thing we're going to learn this past participle. Faire, to do or to make. The past participle is fait. Okay? Lire, the verb to read. Our past participle of lire is lu. Alright, these are just kind of crazy. You have to memorize them. So if you wanted to say yesterday you read a book, you would say j'ai lu un livre. Okay? This is not a process of crossing off the RE and putting a U on the end of lire. It's just totally irregular. It doesn't follow our pattern. Alright, we're going to keep on keeping on. There's some more verbs that we need to learn. They're irregular past participles. Mettre, we've already learned. Mettre meaning to put or to place. If you put on something, like a piece of clothing, or if you place something on the table. Alright, mettre, its past participle is mis, pronounced mis, M-I-S. Alright, pouvoir. You don't technically know this verb, but you do every time you ask to go to the bathroom. Est-ce que je peux? The definition is to be able to, so may I. The past participle is peux. Alright, we've got prendre, to have with food or to take. Alright, the past participle of prendre is pris, P-R-I-S, pris. Voir, we don't know this in the present tense yet, but we are going to learn it. It means to see. The past participle of voir is vu. And then we have vouloir, which you know, sort of, means to want. The past participle is voulu. So be careful because sometimes students can confuse these two, voir and vouloir. Couple other things we want to take a look at. When we learned mettre, are you thinking? Are you remembering? Alright, we learned two other words with mettre. Promettre, which means to promise, The past participle is promis. Alright, so that's these two guys down here. Oops. And then permettre, to allow, the past participle is permis. So say you promised your mom that you would do your homework. So you would start with j'ai, your helping verb, I have, and then promis. So I promised my mother. And you always follow through because you're a good kid. Alright, so that's promettre. These are compound forms of mettre. Whoops, I don't want to keep writing. Now, if we, think about that. Keep thinking about that. We had some other compound verbs. Our verb prendre had a couple different forms. Alright, comprendre, to learn. Alright, the past participle is compris. Comprendre means to understand. Apprendre means to learn. So say you come home and mom asks, what did you learn in school today? You're like, so many things, right? So what did you, first we need our helping verb, to appris. What did you learn today? Another thing I want to point out about prendre, okay, a lot of times students get prendre and perdre mixed up. Alright, prendre, to take, perdre, to lose. Now, perdre, this guy over here, it's totally normal. It follows our pattern. Its past participle is perdu. Alright? Whereas prendre is irregular. Its past participle is pris. I see so many times I see the word prendu. That doesn't exist. Okay, so please look out for that. I know it looks like perdre, but it's very different, and the past participles are very different. Alright, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to give this a shot by yourself. Alright, you're going to put these verbs to the passé composé. I'm going to give you some help. I'm going to start actually with numéro 4. It's kind of closer to my face. Don't tell. So the first thing you always want to do is write the subject. Bam. Now we remember the first part of the passé composé is always your helping verb, avoir. So the to form of avoir is a. And then we have our irregular past participle pouvoir, which is pou. So now you've got your two parts. Everything is hunky-dory. You've got to remember, what does pouvoir mean? It means to be able to. So in English, in the past, to be able, well, if it's the past, you would say you were able to do whatever it is that you were able to do. Speak French, take notes, woohoo! Alright, so finish up. Now, I just want to highlight, we have not changed the rules of the passé composé itself. We still need our two parts. We still need a helping verb. We still need a past participle. I'm just kind of tweaking the idea of a past participle in that they're not always going to do exactly what we want. They aren't always going to follow our pattern. Bonne chance!